What's up, everybody? I'm Jason Page, and welcome to SportsWrap Originals. The NBA Finals are set. The New York Knicks and San Antonio Spurs will battle for the Larry O'Brien Trophy. And while everybody will be talking about the superstars, championships are often decided by players whose impact goes far beyond the box score. So today, we're counting down the 5 players who will have the biggest impact on who wins these NBA Finals. Now, this isn't necessarily a ranking of the 5 best players in the series. It's about influence. It's about whose performance could swing this series one way or another. So let's get started. Number 5, Mitchell Robinson. If the Knicks are going to pull off what many would consider an upset, Mitchell Robinson has to be a major factor. And when you look at this matchup, everybody immediately focuses on Wemby. And understandably so, but Robinson may be the one player on New York's roster who could at least make life difficult for Victor Wembanyama physically. Nobody's stopping Wemby. Let's get that out of the way right now. But Robinson can make him work. He can challenge him on the glass. He can force him into physical battles in the paint. And maybe, most importantly, he can create some second chance opportunities for New York. I know the pinky is an issue, but again, he's not a shooter. It doesn't matter. The Knicks have made a living this postseason extending possessions, winning the rebound battle. Robinson is the engine behind that. He averages a double digits in rebounds and help keep Wemby off completely dominating inside. New York's chances increase dramatically. If he gets played off the floor, Knicks could be in serious trouble. Number 4, OG Anunoby. I don't think there's a more important two-way role player in this series than OG. The Knicks don't need OG to be their leading scorer. They need him to be their defensive eraser. Anunoby is likely going to spend significant time guarding De'Aaron Fox, could also find himself switching onto multiple Spurs players throughout the series. He's versatile, and that versatility is one of the reasons New York has become such a difficult playoff team. Frankly, a much different playoff team than what we saw during the regular season. But here's why he's 4th on the list. The Knicks need more than defense from OG Anunoby. They're going to need timely offense. Who's going to be the guy if the Spurs clamp down on Brunson? They need those games where he knocks down 4 or 5 threes. They need those momentum-changing stretches where he scores 8 quick points and suddenly changes the feel of a game. When OG is aggressively offensive, New York becomes a completely different basketball team. And against a Spurs team that can score in bunches, the Knicks are going to need every bit of that production. Number 3, De'Aaron Fox. This may be the most fascinating player in the entire series. We know Victor Wembanyama is the superstar, but De'Aaron Fox is the player who changes everything for San Antonio. Fox gives the Spurs something they haven't had during previous playoff runs, a true game-breaking perimeter weapon. His speed is unlike anything New York will face. Wait until he gets downhill. Dylan Harper's another guy who can get downhill, but we have De'Aaron Fox at number 3. His ability to get downhill puts enormous pressure on opposing defenses. And perhaps most importantly, he prevents teams from loading up entirely on Wemby. If Fox consistently wins the matchup against New York's backcourt, the Spurs become incredibly difficult to defend. Knicks can survive an average series from Wembanyama. They probably can't survive a great series from Fox, because when Fox is attacking, the entire floor opens up, and suddenly Wemby gets cleaner looks, the shooters get better looks, the transition game becomes deadly for the San Antonio Spurs and Mitch Johnson. Fox is the catalyst that can push San Antonio from dangerous to nearly unstoppable. Number 2, Jalen Brunson, of course. You didn't think we were going to forget about him. The face of the Knicks, the heart of the New York Knicks. The reason New York is in the NBA Finals, the guy who could be on the Mount Rushmore of Knicks if they are to win an NBA championship. Jalen Brunson has elevated himself into the conversation with the very best players in basketball. And in this series, he's carrying perhaps the heaviest burden of anyone. New York needs him to be great. Not good, they need Jalen Brunson to be epic. Because the Spurs, they just beat a Thunder team with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Brunson is New York's offensive engine. He's the guy who creates shots late in games. He's the guy who settles things down when opponents go on runs. Think about that game 1 against Cleveland. how he single-handedly got them back in that game late. He's the guy who can steal a road game with a 40-point performance. And let's be honest, the Knicks don't have the same margin for error that San Antonio does. The Spurs can survive an off night from almost anyone because of their depth and because of Wembanyama's presence. The Knicks, they're not going to have that luxury. If Brunson struggles, New York's title hopes likely disappear with him. So he can't disappear. That's how important he is, and that's why he's number 2 on this list. Number 1, Victor Wembanyama. Was there ever really any doubt? Victor Wembanyama is the most impactful player in the NBA Finals. You can make the argument he's been the most impactful player throughout the NBA season, the reason he obviously got some MVP votes. Not because he's the biggest star, not because he's the most marketable player, because he's capable of dominating every aspect of a basketball game simultaneously. He can score 35 points. He can grab 15 rebounds. He can block shots. We've seen that in this postseason. He can block 6 or 7 shots. He can completely alter an opponent's offensive game and that game plan simply by standing near the basket. So much of what he does doesn't even show up in a box score. There aren't many players in NBA history who force opponents to rethink everything they do. Wembanyama is already one of those players. The Spurs have arrived ahead of schedule because of Victor Wembanyama, and now they're 4 wins away from an unlikely championship. Now, what's scary for the Knicks is that there may not be an answer. You can double team Victor Wembanyama. You could try to be physical, and that goes back to number 5 with Mitchell Robinson. He's going to have to be physical. You can throw different defenders at him, but eventually the talent of Victor Wembanyama might be simply too much. And Wembanyama has more talent than anyone else in this series, with all apologies to Jalen Brunson. If the Spurs win the championship, chances are Victor Wembanyama will be the most valuable player of the series, and the biggest reason why. And that is why he's number 1. So there you have it, my 5 players who will have the biggest impact on these NBA Finals beginning on Wednesday night. Number 5, let's count them back down for you. Mitchell Robinson, of course, the big man in the middle for the Knicks, who will be coming off the bench. Number 4, OG Anunoby. Number 3, De'Aaron Fox. Number 2, Jalen Brunson. And number 1, the big man himself, Victor Wembanyama. Now it's your turn. Who did I leave off the list? Who do you think is too high? Who do you think is too low? Look, we're trying to put together a list of 5 players out of everybody, and all of these guys are valuable in their own different ways. But I want to know what you think. Drop your rankings in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to SportsWrap with Jason Page, our YouTube channel. Hit that like button, turn on notifications, because we're going to be dropping more SportsWrap Originals throughout the NBA Finals and every day, Monday through Friday. I'm Jason Page. Thanks for watching.